Hello and good afternoon. My name is Casey and this is my YouTube channel, Real Life, Real Joy. And I have not posted a video in quite a while. I actually hurt my neck October, November timeframe, and editing videos and being on the computer was just too hard for a long time. So I took a long extended break and then we went to Florida on a 7-week vacation. Yes, we went on vacation for 7 weeks. I know I posted some RV camper videos in the past, and we actually did take our camper and we drove down to Florida. We left February 1st and we got back March 21st. All that to say that we just went on a really big vacation and I took a lot of videos. Even though I took a break from editing videos and uploading videos, I did not take a break from filming videos on our vacation. So for the next several weeks, you will be getting vacation videos. I'm going to try to intermix them with some daily life, how we're getting back in the routine of school, and all of that. This video is a we're back from our vacation, an introduction video to all of the upcoming vacation vlogs that you're going to see. We went to, here's some statistics. I guess we left on February 1st, 2019. We left at 8 o'clock in the morning. The temperature was -30 below zero. It was cold. And we drove for 2 full days. We drove all the way to Milan, Tennessee, and we camped in a Super Walmart parking lot. And then we woke up the next morning and drove the rest of the way to Pensacola. So we stayed 14 different places in 7 weeks. So our total mileage for our entire trip was 5,690 miles. That's a lot of miles in a van with 6 kids. Yes, if you are new to my channel, we have 6 children. They are 12, 10, 7, 5, 3, and 1. 5 boys, 1 girl. So I'm gonna show you our route of where we went so that you will know what campgrounds will be highlighted in the upcoming places and what cities and stuff. So here is my big map here. So stop number 1 was Fort Pickens here near Pensacola. We were there for 5 days. It was absolutely gorgeous. Then we drove along here to this Henderson Beach, which was by Destin. Oh my, beautiful, beautiful beach. And then we went to Topsail, which is just a tiny bit down the way. While we were in the Panhandle, it was beautiful, especially compared to 30 degrees. But when we were at Henderson Beach and Topsail, the beaches were amazing. They were gorgeous, they were beautiful, but it got cold. It was like 60 degrees, which just isn't very good beach weather. They were beautiful. The one day we tried really hard to go and it was so misty and foggy. I was freezing. My glasses were like, had mist all over them just from sitting in a chair on the beach while the kids played in the sand. So it was just a little too chilly for us. And I say that realizing that we left -30 degrees. So it was nice, we could be outside. It wasn't good beach weather and we were in Florida. So we drove all the way through, we drove through where the hurricanes were in this area and saw still a little bit of that damage. But we ended up down here in Withlacoochee State Forest. Withlacoochee State Forest was probably one of our top 1 or 2 or 3 places that we went. It was actually set up for people to camp with their horses, and they had horse stables. It was really nice. So we really liked that. It was a very huge open area. We did not have close neighbors. It also helped that there was nobody camping on either side of us. There was a forest that the kids were like running around and playing games in. It was really nice. So let's see. From Withlacoochee State Forest, we drove into Homosassa Springs and we stayed at an RV park called Nature's Resort for 2 nights. We realized that we are not RV park type people. We were there on the weekend and there was a lot of partying. Your campers are like parked super close together and we just didn't really like that. So we prefer the state parks. So we went to Withlacoochee State Forest, then we went over to Homosassa Springs, to the RV park, and then we may have driven on top, I don't remember, but we drove all the way over here to Blue Springs. Which was really nice. While we were at Blue Springs, we drove up to Ormond Beach to see the Atlantic Ocean. We also drove up here to DeLon Springs. It was a spring that you could swim in, which was really cool. And we also drove down to Sanford and got crab. So after we were at Blue Springs for 5 or 6 nights, we drove all the way down here to Little Manatee River State Park. Our goal in coming here was because we wanted to go to the Tampa Aquarium, but we ended up not actually making it to the Tampa Aquarium. So while there, we actually drove this way to Fort DeSoto Beach, which was amazing, and I met up with a high school friend of mine, so that was awesome. And then this, I actually made a mistake. We did not drive there. So after Little Manatee River State Park, we went over here to Highlands Hammock. Highlands Hammock was in our top 1 or 2 or 3 campgrounds. We really liked Highlands Hammock. We stayed there for 4 nights, I think. It was beautiful. The bugs weren't terrible. The facilities were really nice. The people were super friendly, and we just had a lot of fun there. So we liked it. We liked the trails. We walked around, picked wild oranges. They're super sour, by the way. We drove all the way up here to go to Legoland. It was about an hour drive, but it was the closest campground that we could find, and it was worth it. So we drove up an hour to Legoland and back, and then we drove down, all the way down here. We went to Collier Seminole State Park. It was real close to the Everglades. This big green area is the Everglades. We did some canoeing around in some mangrove trees. And we also drove here to Marco Island to go to a beach there. So then once we were done at Collier Seminole, we drove all the way across the Everglades on the Tamiami Trail. We stopped here to go on an airboat ride and a gator show, which was really neat. And then we just drove all the way up. So we saw Miami and Fort Lauderdale. We saw the skyscrapers in the distance, but we just drove the freeway all the way up to here, Sebastian. We were on this barrier island, Sebastian Inlet, which was very neat. We had a spot real close to the water, which was gorgeous for sunsets. And then after Sebastian Inlet, we drove up all the way up here to Favor Dykes Campground near St. Augustine. We drove into St. Augustine 3 days, I believe, and we went to this Villano Beach one day, our last day. And then it was time to head to Georgia, so we drove up this way and up into Georgia. In Georgia, we were around Atlanta. We were at my friend's house in Noonan, Georgia for 4 or 5 days. And then we went to Shady Grove, Forsyth County Campground on the north side of Atlanta. So Noonan is on the southwest side of Atlanta, and this Shady Grove Campground is on the northeast side of Atlanta. There we visited Kevin's coworker, which was very fun. And then our last stop was Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and we stayed at Claybo Campground in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We went to Pigeon Forge to visit Kevin's sister. So our last week and a half to 2 weeks was all visiting friends and family, and the rest was all in Florida. And when we left Tennessee, we actually left at 5 o'clock in the morning. Thank you very much to Peter. And we left at 5 o'clock in the morning, we drove all the way, and we got home at 8 o'clock at night. So It actually wasn't bad. The kids were amazing on this trip. They really were, especially the long last drive. Actually, they were really good on the way down and they were really good on the way back. Some of the smaller drives in between, not so good. I think knowing right from the morning that we were gonna be in the car all day long, they just kind of resigned themselves to it, and so they weren't cranky and stressed out because they just knew we had to get home or we had to get to Florida. But some of those smaller drives are only 3 hours, and our last one to Tennessee, it was about 5, they were bad. I guess that's enough of my introduction to our Florida vacation. You will be seeing a lot of videos. I have some getting ready videos, and then I have videos from all the different stops that we made. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to put them all together, but all together between pictures and video on my phone and on my good camera I'm using right now, I have about 1,000 pictures / videos, and that's not what Kevin took. So Kevin took some, and even Rebecca took some because she brought a camera. So I have over 1,000 pictures to sort through and videos to sort through. And like I said, I also hurt my neck a few months ago, so they'll probably be slowly coming out, but they'll be coming. And in the middle of them, I'll probably throw in some cooking or everyday life, homeschooling type videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you enjoy our crazy awesome vacation.